Hi, I'm Steve Zyskowski, and I'm the founder of Caerusnet. And today I have Penny Wilson with me. Her business is called A Path to Transformation. She joined the Brighton Tuesday 8 o'clock Caerusnet team in February of 2021. And she has such a unique business that I really felt it was important to showcase Penny's business to the larger network. So Penny, thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Well, listen, I before we jump into it, like who you are and what you do, I always like to do a little memory jogger. You were referred to our team from Dr. Aaron Bannister, who coincidentally is also our team's MVP. And how did you learn about Caerusnet? How did he bring it up? What did he say to you that got you curious enough to want to see what this was? Because this was during the pandemic, right? I mean, everything is a little strange.
It was. I was actually referred to Dr. Aaron from a friend of mine. And so my first appointment with him, you have to fill out paperwork and you tell him what your profession is or your occupation. And I put down that I was an accountant / life coach. And so I think it was my second appointment. He said, "So you're a life coach?" And we had the conversation about that and what I did. And he's like, "Well, I really think you should check out this group. We meet on Tuesday mornings. It's really great. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's other like-minded people. What do you think?" He said, "I'll connect you with Steve, who'll talk to you and he'll give you more information." And so I don't know, I was just kind of hooked when I thought, well, here's someone who's actually taking an interest in my business, who doesn't know anything about my business other than a 5-minute conversation about what it is that I do. And so I was intrigued. And then my conversation with you occurred. I was able to sit through, I think, 2 meetings, December and January. And then by the end of January, I was like, I'm in. So
Awesome.
It didn't take long.
Well, that was a great recap because a lot of people don't necessarily understand the impact that they can make for somebody just by expressing an interest in their business, wanting to know more about it, but then also being willing to say, hey, here's something I found some value out of. Maybe this is something you want to take a look at too. And the nice thing about that is that now you also have greater contact and communication with Dr. Aaron, and you're also learning about referrals and networking. So thanks so much for sharing that. And so here's the other question. So he looks at your intake form and he sees life coach, but to say life coach with what you do is really kind of just the surface level, right? Because your business uses equine, uses horses, right, to do what you do. So
Yes.
Tell us about A Path to Transformation, what motivated you to start this business, and what it is you do for people.
All right. So a short history on my career. I started out as an accountant, became a CPA, worked in the automotive supplier industry for about 30 years. And in that time frame, I got back into horses, and my horse was my therapist. And so I would take mental health days and from work, and we would go out on the trails, and I did several conference calls in the back of my horse running down the trails because it was therapeutic for me. So when I decided that I was in my burnout stage, I needed to leave my job, I wanted to find something I could partner with him to help others so that they could experience what I experienced in that calming, the stress reduction, things of that nature. So I stumbled across a program which is called Equine Assisted Coaching out of Wisconsin. And I jumped on the bandwagon the day after I left my job. I started in this program, and I have not looked back since. So it basically is partnering with horses. So I am a certified life coach. I'm a certified equine assisted coach. So that certification enabled me to understand how to read the horses better and to understand how they react when people are near them. And so horses are able to mirror our emotions back to us. So if you come out to my place and my horse walks away from you, it's because he doesn't want to be near you. It's because you're holding something on the inside, whether it's anxiety or fear or anger. And so it's just all of our exercises are on the ground. There's no horseback riding. And the interesting thing about the horses is they have this gift. It's a magical gift that helps us to see within ourselves.
Wow. Yeah, that's totally unusual for most people to hear. Now, I've been doing business groups for a long time, so I've heard of a lot of different things, and I've heard of, one of the businesses I used to run my meeting out of was the Brighton Equestrian Center, when we were doing meetings in person, and they had some programs there, therapy related to, horses as well too, but I never quite understood it as much. So give me an example of maybe the top one or two things that people might come to you for in that life coaching arena where they're going to be able to get some help.
So a couple of things that are very easy to achieve coming out working with the horses is being able to find a tool that helps you maybe find some calm in your storm. And so I've been able to do that, just giving people that opportunity of what it feels like to be near a horse. And the horses have this type of a heartbeat. They've studied this and proven it. They have a heartbeat that mirrors what ours is like when we're in a feeling of calm. And so when you're in the presence of a horse, your heartbeat tends to mirror theirs. And so it does create this calming effect. And so what I tell people is, what are you feeling? How are you feeling? What's so amazing about being near this massively large animal that you might have been afraid of seeing to begin with? And they're just so calm around you. And then they explain how it feels. And then I say, okay, well, when you're starting to feel anxious or angry, whatever, what if you took a step back and a deep breath and remembered what it felt like being in the presence of this horse, and then knowing how that made you feel? So that's one of them. The other thing is I've worked with families on communication skills, where it's interesting to see how the children communicate with the mom and the mom communicated with the children, and the discussion that came out of it. The kids told me that they were able to understand each other better than they could understand their mom. And so it opened up this dialogue, and it was just working with the horses. It's just incredible. I can't explain it. You have to experience it, but it's unbelievable what you can achieve with these amazing animals.
And so tell us also a little bit too about your business location and where you do this and how that whole thing goes. Because I know that you're zooming in right now from your home, which is also where you run your business.
That is correct. So I was fortunate enough to find a beautiful 10.5 acre personal property out near Brighton State Park. And so all of the work with the horses is done outside. The benefit of having it outside is everybody gets to have the healing benefits of being in nature. It's being in the calm. I live on a 1.5 lane dirt road, so there's not a lot of traffic, so it's very quiet. And when you come, you are basically in nature, the sunshine, the birds, all of that. And so that also creates to the calming effect. And so really when you come to my farm, as I call it, you have the opportunity to just be in the presence of the horses, be in the presence of nature. A lot of things when people come, I'll have them stand in the pasture with all 5 of I have 3 horses and 2 mules. And then they get to observe each one of them and tell me which one they resonate with. And then we go up and we greet that particular horse or mule. And then that's when the work begins, is when they find the animal that they resonate with.
That's exciting. So you mentioned, individuals. You can work with individuals. You also discussed, a family working together. Would businesses that have leadership teams, would they benefit from this sort of a thing? Absolutely.
There's opportunities for working with companies that want to work on teamwork. They have teams that may not be communicating well together, or they don't work well together. There's obviously some amazing exercises you can do. One, which is kind of fun, is where you take 2 individuals that are not able to communicate well with each other, and you tie their left and their right arms together. And then between the 2 of them, they have to saddle a horse. So it's hard enough saddling a horse with your own 2 arms, but take 2 people and they're down 1 arm. It really creates that opportunity for them to experience communication and improving that communication.
So another question I've got then too is, how do you determine, who's going to benefit from being able to work with you? Because I would assume not everybody is going to be the perfect fit for doing this. There's probably a large percentage that are. How do you determine if it's a person you can work with, and does somebody have the ability to connect with you to make a determination before they start paying for services to be sure it's a good fit? How do you screen people like that? What does that look like?
So initially, what I've started doing now is a 15-minute discovery call, where I will talk to individuals, find out what it is exactly that they're looking for, and what their needs are. And to your point, not everyone is going to benefit from what my team, my horses, and I do. It really takes an open mind and not having the fear. I have a few people that have come out and said, I'm really afraid of horses. And so what I do then is not only do I have the 15-minute discovery, I will also have initial discovery session where if we decide at the discovery call that we're going to work, then come on out, spend some time with the horses. We'll do one session free of charge. Not that I don't want to charge, I don't want to minimize the value of that, but by coming out, it's an interview process where you're interviewing me, but my horses are interviewing you. And for me, primary purpose is safety of my horses, because they're the ones that do all of the work. I get to do all the fun stuff by asking all the questions, but they do all the work. So really, it's an opportunity for the client and the horses to interact. And if it doesn't work, we know then, and then there's no money that actually transpires at that point in time. If at that point we believe it works, then we create the arrangement and move forward.
Okay, perfect. So I've got two fast questions for you as we wrap this up. First would be, describe like the ideal referral for you. Is it like, who would be a single individual coming to you? What would be going on in their lives that would be an ideal referral for you? So we'll have you answer that one first, then I'll ask the last question.
All right. So I think the ideal referral, I've had success with children that have ADHD, anger issues, things of that nature. So kids are great. They're a great referral. But I've also had really good success with young women and women that are in the career world, that women are not good at taking care of themselves. We're the last people to take care of our needs. We're always giving of other people. And so this is an opportunity for them to come out and have the horses take care of them. And so that is also another good resource for me from a client perspective.
Okay, awesome. And then the other question is, what would be ideal referral partners for you? Like, are there certain types of businesses that you would say, hey, Steve, if you happen to know any of these types of businesses, I would love an introduction, because I think I've got something that could be complementary to what they do, and perhaps there could be collaboration that happens.
Right. So one thing to keep in mind with what I do is it's not therapy or counseling, because I am not a therapist or a counselor. So what I do is coaching. And so it's really a complementary to families, organizations that do therapy for families or children or adults. If they're finding that they need something a little bit different to propose for their clients or patients, to maybe open the door to give them something to talk more about when they're trying to identify their issues. Also, the referrals would be businesses that are looking to improve team building, communication skills, things of that nature on their teams. So working, I guess the businesses that would be good for me would be therapists, counselors, companies that want to do things for their employees that would be beneficial for them.
Awesome. I think you gave us so much great information today. I just think through this video with you, I'm going to be a better referral partner for you as your facilitator.
Oh, thank
because
you.
I'm always motivated to share good things and the good stuff that comes out of that. And I commend you for being brave in launching a business. You launched it pre-pandemic, but you really kind of have had to do the work during the pandemic. And that's been difficult for a lot of businesses that have had a certain system or way that they did things. Like Caerusnet was always an in-person business before the pandemic. And then the next thing you know, I'm having to learn how to do this online in a way that's going to serve people too. So I commend you for being brave and for also wanting to share this really valuable resource that you have with the world. So Excited to share you with the Caerusnet network. Penny Wilson from A Path to Transformation. Thanks for spending some time with us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share this new modality that's out there where animals can help people.